This is gonna be Love Hina all over again, isn't it? I can tell exactly what kind of series this is gonna be. Oh, I'm gonna regret ever starting this, aren't I? I really hope I don't have any memories connected to this series.
What? Did all the monsters scare you?
It's not the monsters, it's the sheer pervertedness of this series. I can tell exactly what is going to happen a mile off. I could tell exactly what kind of series this was going to be from the fact that there was panty flashing in the first 5 seconds of it. I'm going to regret starting this, aren't I? But, seeing as I've started it now... So it starts out with this kid on a bus ready to begin his first day at a new high school. Apparently he'd failed every single one of his entrance exams, but luckily his father, in a drunken walk home, had managed to find an application form for a high school that was dropped by some nun. His parents start quite literally dancing with joy at the thought of him going to high school. Okay. But yeah, basically the point is, he's on a bus to a new high school. Suddenly, the bus driver decides to warn this kid that this school he's going to is apparently creepy. But I think that was obvious, seeing as the guy who's driving the bus to this school has bright glowing eyes. Seriously, kid, you didn't think something was amiss when you got on a bus that was driven by a guy who has glowing eyes? Or is that just a legitimate medical condition in your town or something? So this kid gets a call from his cousin about this school he's about to start at, and... wait a minute. This kid has a pink phone. Why the hell does he have a pink phone? Well, anyway, this kid gets a call on his pink phone from his cousin about the high school he's about to start at, but he gets cut off as soon as they enter a tunnel. On the other side of this tunnel, things look pretty dark. There's like this scarecrow with a pumpkin head, there's what looks like a river of blood, and there's dead trees all over the place. Everything about this place just screams that this kid should get the heck out of there. But all he does is comment that it's kinda creepy. Kinda creepy? Do you need a big huge sign saying you're going to die here or something? So the bus leaves and this kid tries to call his cousin back on his pink phone. But he finds he can't get reception there. Seriously, do you need any more signs that you should get the heck out of there? So he begins to wander through this forest of dead trees and things begin to grow creepier and creepier. But this kid, being a dumbass with a pink phone, doesn't think anything of it. Not even by the fact that there's bats flying around this place during the daytime. Suddenly a girl on a bike crashes into him and we immediately start getting shots up her skirt. Oh, and this leads to them getting into some awkward positions. Big surprise there. And of course, this perverted setup leads to this kid getting a nosebleed. This girl offers to help him and seems to be infatuated with the scent of his blood. She says she can't resist, and then with another shot of her knickers, she then proceeds to bite him. After a brief awkward moment, she then explains that she's a vampire and... Wait, if she's a vampire, then why the hell is she wearing a cross? And if she's a vampire, shouldn't he be one now, seeing as she just bit him? For that matter, how is she out during the daytime if she's a vampire? Shouldn't she be sparkling or something?
Please don't tell me you said what I think you just said.
She then asks him if he's afraid of vampires, however, he thinks she's just a girl with a warped imagination, so he tells her, if you want to say you're a vampire, that's okay with me. And with yet another shot up her skirt, she then proceeds to hug him, saying that she was so afraid about not having friends at this school. Well, it's your first day, of course you haven't made any friends yet. But anyway, the two of them then continue onwards to this school. Once there, it's revealed that this school is in fact a school for monsters. Apparently, because humans would reject them, monsters attend this school to learn about how to live among human society. Hey Chrono, is this where you went to school? Very funny. Though, I guess things would have been a heck of a lot better if I had. However, usually humans aren't able to enter this school because of some magic barrier placed around it, and yet somehow this kid has managed to make his way past it. There are 2 rules at this school. 1, they're not allowed to reveal what kind of monster they are to other students, and 2, they have to stay in their humanoid form while on school grounds. Why these rules have been put in place is never explained, but anyone with more than half a brain cell can figure out it's done as a cheap way so they won't have to draw tons of different monsters, and as a cheap plot device to not reveal the fact that this kid is in fact a human. Way to find a way to save money, guys. But anyway, this kid starts pissing himself about the fact that he's a human with a pink phone in a school for monsters.
You're never gonna let the pink phone go, are you?
And then this vampire girl shows up late for class with even more shots up her skirt, big surprise. And she's overwhelmed with joy to find out that this kid is in fact in the same class as her. Naturally, this leads to the whole school getting the wrong idea and thinking, a geeky kid like him going out with a hottie like her? That's utter madness! Oh, nothing like this has ever been done in anime before! So, as the two of them hang out with about 20 more shots up the vampire girl's skirt, they're eventually confronted by the school's bully who throws this kid about and says that the vampire girl should be with him instead, as if acting like a thug is meant to attract her or something. She tells the bully to get lost and her and the kid head up to the roof with yet another 20 shots up her skirt. Once up there, she explains that the cross she wears actually keeps her true vampire form in check, and should it ever come off, she'd become her true vampire form. I guess that kind of explains how she can be out during the daytime, but at the same time it totally doesn't. The fear that this school is populated entirely by monsters finally gets to this kid and he decides to run away from it. When the vampire girl asks him why, with yet another 20 shots up her skirt, he explains that he wants to attend a human school. She then explains that she absolutely hates humans, having only attended human schools all her life and being rejected for being different. To her shock, he reveals that he is in fact a human, and then proceeds to run off dramatically, assuming that she hates him now and thinking that he won't be able to get laid. As she follows after him, her skirt once again defying gravity, she's once again confronted by the bully. He reveals himself to in fact be an orc, and then proceeds to tongue rape her. Seriously, he tongue rapes her. This kid suddenly hears her screaming and then comes back to try and help her, but it goes about as well as you'd expect. The two of them then have a tender moment where she, her skirt still defying gravity, explains that she doesn't care if they're a human or a monster, she just wanted to make a friend. The orc bully then comes to finish what he started. This kid then stands up and loudly and dramatically proclaims that it doesn't matter if she's a vampire or not, as long as there's a vain hope of him getting laid, he shall be her friend. Well, okay, he doesn't say exactly that, but that's the truth of the matter. So this orc bully then starts to beat the crap out of him, and he reaches out and accidentally pulls this girl's cross off. This causes her to transform into her true form, with yet another 50 shots up her skirt, but I'd come to expect that at this point. Of course, her true form is the complete opposite to what she was in her humanoid form, now being darker and more serious. She then proceeds to quite literally kick the crap out of this orc bully, and you've guessed it, there's another 70 shots up her skirt in the process. So this kid eventually wakes up and discovers that the girl's turned back into her humanoid form. They then discover that the bus only stops at their school once a month, so he's trapped there. But why he can't leave on foot is anybody's guess. But anyway, this vampire girl is thrilled by the fact that he's going to be staying, and with another 90 shots up her skirt, proceeds to bite him again. Once again, for some reason he doesn't turn into a vampire himself, but I guess the seal she wears blocks that from happening or something stupid like that. I don't know, vampires don't work how they should anymore. Like I said, I can tell exactly what kind of series this is going to be. I'm calling it. He's going to meet and befriend tons of other monster girls, all of whom have 100 shots up their skirt per episode, and he's going to get into tons of perverted situations with them. This will lead to all of them getting the wrong impression about him and will most likely lead to him getting hurt. The vampire girl is most likely going to see all this happening and get the wrong impression, which will lead to her getting jealous of all the other girls, but yet she won't understand why because she's going to be too stupid to realise that she's in fact in love with him. I'm sorry, but this is a really predictable setup. This is going to be Love Hina all over again, isn't it? And seriously, tone down the upskirt shots! Oh, this is going to be some really painful fang-banging story, isn't it? It's going to be a miracle if I haven't killed myself by the end of the year.
Oh boy! Hopefully this series will finally send him over the edge.
I actually forgot I had this. This is the very first time I can make use of this. And action.